The difference between multiplication and breeding is, breeding is an expensive venture. Why do I say it's expensive? It requires in very, very intense selection. In that you might find out that, for example, if you had a herd of cattle and they are over 100, you might select 20 which are fit for breeding, and the rest go for slaughter, which most of our farmers cannot afford. If it's about pigs, you might, like at the GP level, there is a level where all females that are born with males are supposed to go for slaughter. It's only the females that we are interested in. If it's about chicken, the same case. When you rear, when you buy these broilers, all the males, the cocks that are born with the females, go for slaughter. It's only the females that we select. So now they get from a different line of males, and all the females that are born there with the males, females also go for slaughter. They select the males from that line. That's what they are interested in. That's what they call breeding. And now they go further in some animals, even within the selected line, they further select looking at the different criteria. You can do what we call traditional selection. You can also do what we call genomic selection. So these are very, very, very complex, most especially the genomic selection. This is why you can tell me that today, I want a duck which is grayish, whose legs are a little bit shorter. I'm giving an example. And it has this and this and this. Its feed conversion rate is this and this. And then a breeder will produce that animal exactly using genomics and selection. So, in that regard, that's why I said not everybody is a breeder. It's very, 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 it's very expensive to do. And even the broilers that we import as parent stock, we are just multiplying, we are not breeding. You get me? For the case of broilers, we are multiplying, we are not breeding. We are multiplying something that somebody has already bred and selected and given us to multiply. That's why we produce what we call a commercial bird. It's not a breeding bird. So the people who further use it for breeding are doing wrongly. That's why they don't perform well. Clear? So multiplication, you multiply what has already been bred. Breeding, you go through the other process, the real science of making it exist and happen. Of making somebody might say, I want a woman who's too short, with a very big bum, with this and this and this, and then you breed exactly that person you want. And then after breeding that, then you start multiplying them, you get more women similar to that one. What you must know before starting a poultry project, you need to have an objective, as I said. What is your objective? Usually if we don't have objectives in livestock production, we land into problems, all issues. So once you have an objective, you know what you want, it's very easy for you to have a direction, this objective. So what you must know, first of all, you must have structures. And how those structures are constructed is very core. Because if your objective is egg production, the way you construct your structures might fail you from getting eggs at all. If you have, even the orientation of the structure might fail you, might fail your birds from performing based on the objective. If your objective is to get meat, the way you've organized or you've constructed your structures might also fail your objective. That's how dangerous it is. And then if your objective is to do both meat and is for the dual purposes, like for the case of broiler, still how you set up your structures might be a little bit modified. So that's why I'm saying what you should know, how do you set up the structures, because in laying layers there is what we call light has a very positive I want to use a language. The light contributes a lot to egg production. It stimulates egg production so much. So if you're going to put up a structure, if you want to modify it, then you have to know what you should do, as long as the objective is eggs. That's what I'm saying. And the other issue you should put into consideration, the source of your feed. What are you going to feed? Birds, and how you're going to feed, the feed plan and the source of feed and the vaccination schedule. The birds are very, very sensitive. By the poultry is so sensitive. If you're rearing your birds and you wake up one day and just introduce a program which abruptly, say you just change feed out of nowhere, you can lose production for over 2 weeks, if not a full month. If you just wake up one day and introduce another program, if you are to vaccinate them, you should have planned for it. If you are to debeak, you should know the right age when you should debeak, to avoid the challenges or the effect that might come in production. So if you are to introduce something, you should gradually introduce it, not abruptly, because it has a very, very negative impact on production once you do it that way. So it's very very important to understand how you do your poultry, and there are so many other things which I believe we can train you once you come for a training in poultry production. The question is, why is chicken business the best business? I don't want to set the best business, but why is it one of the businesses that you think is easy to do? Just like pigs, chicken need very small space of land. You can raise them in a very small space of land. As you saw the other structure, we are keeping thousands up there, and the money is coming in, but in a small space, which we've even in that same space where we've put pigs down. So they need a very small space of land, which I believe people like the youth and women who don't have land can take advantage of such enterprises, because you don't have to own a big space of land to do chicken. You can even be renting somewhere, as long as your landlord is a good person. You negotiate. He allows you put some temporary structures and rear chicken. You get me? So you can also, they are very flexible, that they can fit within the urban setting. You can rear chicken so well, and first of all, their turnovers are realized very fast, because by the age of 4.5 months, the chicken would have started laying eggs, 4.5 to 5. If they go beyond, so I'm saying the turnovers are a little bit faster. You don't have to rear the birds up to 1 year before you begin touching the money. However, the initial investment is a little bit high, because you have to plan. That's what they call planning in business planning. It's also included, and how you plan it. You're supposed to feed them for that period of time before you get any money. So don't buy them and get overwhelmed by the consumption when you don't have money to feed them. You should have planned for them before you get your money to go and pay for the chicks. Actually, this is very funny. Chicken is one of the businesses that, we have some programs which would give out things. So don't hear that they are giving out something and you run for chicks if you've not planned for them, because we should have planned the structure so well. You should have planned for their feed for a particular period of time before you begin touching money. So there is a standard period when chicken should start laying eggs. So if they lay at a later stage, then it means there is a problem. That problem may be nutrition. Maybe you subjected them to the drugs that you're not supposed to have given them. They are very, very crucial. They are those drugs that are very specific, and if you apply them, they can affect the egg production. If you do, at times it's nutritional. If you give them, you subject them to a certain nutrition, certain ingredients which they shouldn't have been given, again, or which were not right, or if you denied them the right ingredients in their feed, again, still they won't lay. They won't lay. Actually, I had a friend, and he imported this parent stock, but it clicked a year. Moreover, imported another. The other one was 8 months. The other one was a year. Imagine that money, and they had all not laid. So I didn't know. He called me when they already that whatever, and he had even got discouraged and started selling off the first batch. So when he called me, then I had to find out that the problem was nutrition. And he kept on changing feeds. He would mix, and then the other did, which was very, very dangerous. And even some ingredients that were being put, which chicken are very sensitive. People out there rearing chicken know and understand what I'm talking about. You don't just change abruptly. For these other animals, you can cut grass. Pigs, if the worst comes to the worst, they'll eat potato vines. They'll eat everything, the other things. But chicken, no compromise. They have to eat feed. If you don't, remember when I told you that animals first get for their maintenance, and then the rest is what they convert into reproduction and production. This example it's very, very evident in all livestock species, cattle, in pigs, in even other poultry species, but it's so evident in poultry. You don't have even to waste. You do it today, within less than a week, the result is already clear, and you're seeing it. Yeah, you should have a sick bay, because a sick animal is stressed. It can't compete with live ones. It needs special care. It needs supportive care. It needs, in addition to medication. So you have to put into consideration all that.